Hello, this is an assessment for restoration or reconditioning of this Steinway upright piano, made in 1901, 126 centimetres tall. And the client's inherited the piano, has a good quality Kemble upright at the moment, and is wondering whether to change it for this. So just looking at it to assess it, see what we can do to improve the piano. It has a beautiful inlay here. Not many Steinways of this age have inlay, although older Steinways often do. One's pre-1900. It's not quite so common. It's just beautiful inlay. It probably is original, though you can get replacement panels and inlay obviously as well, and so I'm not sure, and it's not that common to see Steinways of this age with inlay, but it's a beautiful rosewood too. So it's high quality workmanship. This is the original Steinway here. I think that's inlaid boxwood. It usually is. Sometimes it's transferred on. This is a German Steinway. They're nearly always inlaid boxwood. And just looking at the key tops, they're in good condition. Some have come off and been stuck back on. You can see that one there. That can be slightly improved, that line, but it does tend to have more of a line when it's been taken off and stuck back on, though we can improve that if you'd like it done. This needs buffing. They're attracting the dirt because they're very dull. If you buff them, they don't attract the dirt so much. You can see the wear on here. That has been used quite a lot, though the pedal doesn't show a huge amount of wear. Actually, it does show a reasonable amount of wear. If we look at the right hand pedal there, you can see that is worn too. So, and the piano's been restored since then anyway. Beautiful bottom panel too, and like these column legs here, that's very attractive. And going around the side here, so this is a beautiful French polished job. I think it's been done extremely well. About 30 years ago apparently, the whole work was done before his father bought the piano. So let's have a look at the other side of the case. Not really much casework to do. Our polisher could probably liven it up slightly, but it's already in extremely good condition. The top of the fall is slightly darker. It's obviously been kept open and played, but I don't think that detracts too much, and you'd have to repolish the whole piano to get the same colour. So I think it's good. You can see underneath the lid here, that's probably more like the original colour. So the polisher's made it slightly lighter, as we do as well. There's a kind of finish that we like to have ourselves, which is kind of antique wax finish. Now, many aspects of the restoration have been well done. The string quality, the tone is, I think, as good as you'll get for restringing a Steinway of this age. It's lush and rich. And the centre too. Now, the client says it sounds muffled compared to his Kemble, and there's certainly some voicing to do. Some of the notes are quite bright, like that one. That's out of tune, and also twanging. There must be some liquid or something on the damper, because when it goes back, it twangs slightly. So quite a variety of tone, I think. So in his voicing, definitely. But I think it's roughly the sort of sound you'd expect a Steinway this age to be. They're good quality hammers. I think they're Steinway hammers made by Renner, of course, and done in the early 90s, so that would be Renner that did the hammers. All Steinway parts were made by Renner at that time, and now Renner and Steinway are the same company. Steinway's taken over. I've marked these things here because the hinges are a bit loose, and generally the action is loose, and we'll have a look at that in a second. So those are loose. I've marked them because I think most of the others are tight. If we look closely at the action, it's been well restored. This hasn't been replaced, but this has, and the tapes have as well. So generally, a restoration done well. Now, the main work that will improve the piano is regulation of and you can see here there's a major issue here. The key dip's 8 to 9.5. Now that's far too shallow. Keyboards, electronic keyboards, tend to be 11 millimeters, and I've got my 11 millimeter gauge here, so if we push it down on C, we can see that's, I think, 8 to 9.5 I've estimated it at. I haven't got an 8 key dip measurer, but you can see it's far too shallow, so when you're playing it you don't get the power, and the client says it seems soft, and I think that one of the reasons is that the action doesn't work properly. So to get that working so that you've got more key dip, you then got more power in the piano generally, and more control in the piano as well. So also the other factor here is that the weighting of the keys is very, very low. So that's 43 grams there, 40 grams, that should be sort of 52 at least, or 48 at least, shall we say, and then 52 will be about normal for the bottom bass, and 37 that's far too low, and 19 upweight. The upweight's related to the downweight anyway, and the upweight should be around about 25, so 25 to 30. 25 will be very nice, and that one's 33. So there's a huge variety in this, and I'm not quite sure why it should be so bad as that. But obviously we can reweigh the keys and put them at sensible weights. So 37, 30, and then upweight 20. So there's a huge variety, and I think that would more or less cure everything if we did that. The lubricate doesn't need lubricating at all. So there's various things as well. Some of the capstans are a bit slack and the dampers are a bit varied. So that just basically the piano is way out of regulation, and that is making it feel very uncomfortable to play. Not pleasant to play, but the tone is pleasant. So that's a Steinway upright piano, 126 centimeters tall, made in 1901, and it's a fine piano, and in many aspects of the restoration the restringing seems to be done really well, and the hammers are good quality, but the touch makes it extremely uncomfortable to play. There's no control over it, unfortunately, and there's a huge variety of tone in the hammers. They need voicing. But I think if the touch was sorted out and we voiced the hammers, it's going to be a very special instrument, really, and particularly because it looks so beautiful. This inlay is quite unusual for a Steinway, and I'm wondering if it was done afterwards, because you don't normally get 1901 Steinways with this kind of inlay. Though if you're in the trade and have seen them, I'd like to know. Maybe Steinways sometimes did a one-off themselves. It's a particularly spectacular rosewood as well. So it's a good quality piano visually, as well as a good quality piano tone-wise as well. And the client says it's a bit soft, and certainly some hammers are a bit slightly soft, and they can be brightened slightly as well. So I think it's an excellent instrument. Whether the client would prefer this to the high quality Kemble will be interesting to know. Certainly the high quality Kemble is a good piano. Obviously this was much more expensively made when it was made. There's no reason why you shouldn't practice on an older piano. It's an 88 note keyboard. A lot of older pianos are 85, so you could take any exams on this once it's regulated properly, and the key weighting is extremely light, so that isn't good for practicing. So I hope that's been helpful. If you've got a piano that needs restoring, or you need the key weighting made more even or made heavier or lighter, that's something we like to do. I'm not enjoying playing it because of the keys not going down far enough and not controllable. But the bass is very lush. So thank you very much for listening.